Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. And today we're going to be looking at Nightmare Frames. So occasionally, I look for indie sort of text-based or point-and-click based horror-themed games. And I stumbled upon this one, Nightmare Frames, from 2022. That is a 90s style point-and-click adventure game. Not too lengthy, about 6 hours from the sounds of it. And I guess it starts out fairly humorous, lighthearted, but then it becomes pretty horror. So, yeah, we're gonna give it a look. The guys don't know that the lunatic is back. I have to warn them before it's too late. Okay. There's our setup. No. Oh, God. Dana, Hank. Oh, God. Will, what have they done to you? I'm too late. Where's Tommy? Tommy! Yeah, that is pretty grisly. You didn't see that too often in the 90s. Not never, but not too often. Tommy! Stacy, run! Run away! Let him go, you monster! Get out of here! He'll come for you! I can't take it anymore! Oh my God. Shit. You've been suspecting it for a while. The climax of Lunatic 2 is identical to the one you wrote for the original movie. You go over the whole script in your mind and end up realizing it has the same structure as its predecessor. You can't show this to Christopher Ruskin. No wonder you've had such little interest in the script for Lunatic 2. All your thoughts are focused on the ambitious project that will take you back to the times of Melodies of Heaven, the script that earned you an Oscar nomination in 1980. Famous producer Peter Evans is butting heads with the studio execs to get the project greenlit. According to him, the deal's almost done, which means you're just one step away from leaving the B-movies pit you're in. He was meeting with the executives this morning. You have an appointment later today at his place, hopefully to celebrate. It's getting late. I should get moving. Hollywood, 1985. Right to click, look. Left click, interact. Pretty simple. Alright, so we are an Oscar-winning screenwriter that has been in a B horror movie slump. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that happens on occasion. You've lost track of how long ago you unplugged the TV and don't plan to plug it back in ever again. There's nothing of interest in that box. You usually read the news and the papers, and TV series are nothing more than watered-down movies. Oh, he's a bit of an art house snob. You glance towards the shelf and realize that a statuette awarded to Campfire Psycho at some festival you can't remember is missing. The breeze coming through the window reminds you that you used it as a doorstop for the hallway. You'll wind it up some other time. Even if you don't consider your work in horror movies as worthy of any praise, other people do. You were awarded Best Script by the Fantasporto jury for President's Day Killer. Lunatic caused a sensation in the Sitges Film Festival, and you won Best Screenwriter. That same year, you also collected awards in Avoriaz, thanks to Lunatic. You didn't pick up a single one of them in person. You hate the crowds at those B-tier festivals. But there's something you hate even more, being surrounded by fans of horror movies. Oh yeah, very much a snob. Staring at the poster for Melodies of Heaven, you've got the feeling that there's another reality in which some other Alan Goldberg, an Oscar winner, enjoys a successful career within the big studio system. I want my Friday the 13th, Alan, Christopher Ruskin told you. And that's what you did, apathetically penning a flagrant copy of Sean S. Cunningham's classic. However, the movie was Ruskin Productions' biggest success to date, and today it's considered a cult classic. Does anybody even know how Hollywood works? Because I definitely don't. The killer in President's Day Killer was a dangerous far-right madman who used a Jimmy Carter mask to stage a massacre at a Young Democrats convention. Since then, you have a reputation for being a reactionary, which confirms what you already knew. Horror fans are idiots. Ooh, boy. It's time to vote. 2 years ago, 3D horror movies made their comeback to Hollywood with titles such as Friday the 13th 3D, Amityville 3D, or Jaws 3D. Of course, Ruskin Productions wanted its share of the pie. They commissioned a new slasher full of gory scenes where the entrails of the victims would jump at the viewer. However, the budget was so small for a change that most of the scenes requiring more complex VFX than usual were discarded. The director made up for it by moving the camera closer to the actress's breasts. Ruskin didn't object. Neither did the viewers. Alright. You try not to focus too much on the promotional poster for Lunatic. You fear your future will consist only of writing its sequels far into the 90s. VHS editions of all the movies you've written sit on that shelf. Pam makes sure to send you a copy 2 days before each domestic format release. You don't usually check the end result of your scripts. Once you've delivered the last revision, you disengage yourself completely from the project and don't give a damn about anything producers or directors do with it. Even so, you show them off as a trophy and you wonder why. You don't have an answer. That's where you put your wallet. You take the wallet in the hopes of not misplacing it and forgetting about it again. It's a good thing you always carry a few bills in your jacket so you can pay for cabs. Alright, we got our wallet. I didn't even know it was missing. Pile of books about the art of writing scripts. Your favorite one is Adventures in the Screen Trade by William Goldman. William Goldman, I think, wrote Princess Bride? Hold on. Or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know why I have to fact check myself here. He did. He did write Princess Bride. He also wrote screenplay for All the President's Men and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. There you go. Okay. You look at the tray where the script to the last sequel to Ruskin Productions' most recent success lies and wonder what happened. Your mind might have been somewhere else, or you may be agreeing with those who argue that the slasher genre has dried up. It's a complete disaster that you need to fix, though the best thing would be to start anew. Okay. Your loyal Olivetti Olivetti Lettera 32, same model Francis Ford Coppola used to write, for example, the magnificent scene of Solozzo's death at the hands of Michael Corleone in The Godfather. It's a very versatile machine. It can also be used to give teenagers dumb lines and make skimpily dressed girls head straight towards danger instead of running in the opposite direction. It's a very self-loathing screenwriter. You've marked the due date for the script of Lunatic 2 with a big red circle. 6 years have passed since you arrived at the mecca of cinema. The first year was just as you had imagined. Dinners in luxury restaurants, non-stop handshakes with stars, and a walk down the Oscars red carpet to top it all off. But good things don't last forever. You've spent 5 years in what you call Hollywood hell. You wholeheartedly wish everything would go back to the way it used to be, and you still hope it will. But the wait is starting to feel like an eternity. You can't remember how many times you filled it with coffee today. It's your favorite big blue mug. It's always been at your side when writing. The cemetery of the bad ideas you come up with when you're not focused, which happens a lot lately. Maybe you've thrown away the occasional brilliant page without realizing it, but that's probably not the case. Christopher Ruskin insisted that you had to get with the times, so he bought you a brand new IBM PC 5150 with a text processor. However, you still prefer to write your scripts the traditional way. You can't imagine working without the relaxing sound of the keys banging against the typewriter roller. Maybe that's how I should write Exploring Series scripts. No, that sounds awful. I'll stick with my Google Drive. You look out the window. Movies taught you to love the streets of Los Angeles. Reality, to hate them. You always wanted to have an apartment with a view of the Hollywood sign in which to write your scripts. If it wasn't for the fact that you have to stick half your body out of the window just to be able to see the letter D, you could say you've achieved your dream. Oh, 3D glasses. That'll come in handy. The production company promised you a bonus if you wrote Don't Go in the Forest 3D. What you didn't expect was for the bonus to be a box full of the 3D glasses used to watch the movie in theaters. That's pretty shitty. Alright, letters. Ever since you spoke out publicly against the character of Eliza from Eliza's Mansion of Horrors, you've been flooded with anonymous letters from her fans wishing you the most horrible of deaths. You think about showing a couple of them to the police, in particular the one that threatens to shoot you with a sniper rifle, and the one whose author thinks the best way of ending your life is planting a bomb in this very apartment. But you know they're probably written by some harmless, zit-ridden teenager too busy jerking off compulsively to an Eliza poster. Wow. Unlike the people at Variety, somebody at Fangoria magazine thinks you should have a subscription. That's why it arrives in your mailbox each month without fail. You've already flipped through that issue. George A. Romero tries to milk the success of Night of the Living Dead for a third time. A theatrical director from Chicago makes his movie debut with an adaptation of an H.P. Lovecraft short story for Charles Band's Empire. Which one was that? Was that Herbert West? 1985? I think so. Why am I fact-checking all this stuff? Yeah, Reanimator came out in 85. And Stuart Gordon, he's from Chicago. Look at that. I'm right on the money today, man. Lastly, an interview with Gina Dreyfus, the scream queen from Campfire Psycho, in which, among other things, she talks trash about you. Okay. I think we're good here. Welcome to LA United Taxi. Is that how they are in LA? Where do you want to go? When you get in a taxi, the drivers will talk to you. You can disable this feature in the options menu. Okay. We're going to Ruskin's... No, we're going to Peter Evans' mansion, right? Thanks for your cooperation, officer. Good evening. Oh, Goldberg. What a tragedy. What happened? Where's Evans? I'm afraid I've got bad news. Evans committed suicide. What? We're in shock too. We can't seem to make sense of it. But... why would he commit suicide? He had everything a man could aspire to. We don't know what goes through other people's minds, Goldberg. Truth is, he seemed more short-tempered than usual lately. But who isn't in this city? What are you doing here? Evans had some essential documents we needed in order to close the sale of the studio to the Japanese. The LA chief of police allowed me to go in and get them. Very kind of him. Hold on, you're selling the studio? That's the plan. They're in charge from now on. Lucky me, they want to keep the current corporate board. I had an appointment to talk about the project. Yes, well, let us talk about it, okay? As you know, Evans was the only one protecting your project from the rest of the executives. Now that he's gone, I'm afraid we won't be following through with the movie. Anyway, I don't think it would have been made even with Evans, now that the studio will be in the hands of the Japanese. They're more Godzilla than Kurosawa, if you know what I mean. The trend is action heroes like Stallone or Schwarzenegger, or otherwise movies like the ones Amblin is making. I'm afraid there won't be any room for high-budget drama such as the ones you're proposing. We are grateful for Peter Evans' work. The studio pulled through its worst times thanks to him. But it's 1985, Goldberg. Teens rule the box office now. I hope you understand. Anyway, since you're here, I've got something to show you. I found this in the desk next to the office phone. Barry Landau pulls out a letter with a letterhead that reads, Flying Saucer Pictures. It seems to be a small, low-budget studio focused on fantasy or horror movies. You can't grasp why Evans committed suicide, but even less why that was in his office. Peter Evans despised this kind of small producers that capitalized on making exploitation movies instead of making art. It took a lot for you to stand up for yourself, given that you were responsible for several masked killer movies. Curious, isn't it? Evans dealing with this kind of scum. You know what? You can keep it. Your talents are more in line with this trash than with our studio. I've proven I can be more than a slasher screenwriter. Let me remind you, I was an Oscar nominee. So was Cher last year. Take it. My hand's getting tired. I wish you much success in your career, Goldberg. You'll need it. Hollywood is changing. It's not the 70s anymore. Goodbye. If there was ever a chance to touch heaven in Hollywood again, it's gone. You're surprised to realize, though, that spending the rest of your career stuck in the B-movie business is the last thing you're worried about right now. Peter Evans was an important figure to you, not only because he believed in your project and tried to move heaven and earth to get it made. Peter Evans was the man you wanted to become. Wealthy, well-connected, and able to bring top-tier movie projects to life. Now he's dead. By his own hand. How's it possible for someone who had everything they wanted in life to end up like this? You look at the letter Barry Landau just gave you. Dear Mr. Evans, I do know what you are talking about indeed. I thus beg you to handle this in person. You will surely understand that this matter should be dealt with discreetly. Kind regards, Glenn Bishop. You marvel at Peter Evans' luxurious mansion, and still can't come to terms with the fact of his suicide. You can't understand what one of the most powerful executives in Hollywood could need from one of the most insignificant production companies in Los Angeles. Without the project, that could have put you back in the spotlight. With a script for a sequel that's going nowhere and no desire to make anything else, you decide to delve into why someone like Evans did what he did. Alright. Officer? Sir? What happened in there? Nothing good. That guy, the movie guy, blew his brains out. You need to have a pair for that, don't you think? Do you know if he left a suicide note? You watch a lot of movies, don't you? Actually, I write them. More than 90% of the people who commit suicide don't leave any notes. It's a myth. Still, did he leave one? Why are you asking all these questions? Are you a journalist? No, I'm a screenwriter, I already told you. Have you written something I may have watched? Does Melodies of Heaven ring any bells? Are you kidding? You wrote that movie? What a snoozer. Mary, my wife, made me go watch it with her. I fell asleep. And that's my review. It's okay. She liked it, though. I shouldn't be talking about this with you, you know? It's strictly police business. But to hell with that if I can tell Mary I've been talking to the writer of Melodies of Heaven. We're having some communication issues lately. This way we'll have something to talk about. As for the note, no, he didn't leave one. Anything else you want to know? Was it really a suicide? You mean whether someone murdered him and made it pass for a suicide, right? I can see your screenwriter's mind at work. I'm afraid to disappoint you. Everything seems to suggest suicide. No doors or windows forced. According to my colleagues, the position in which he was holding the rifle looked natural. What are you guarding, exactly? The crime scene. I thought you all left once the place was sealed. Soon everyone will know a big fish from the movies blew his brains out, and this place will be crawling with journos. I don't know if you know them, but these guys will jump over fences for the chance to take a picture. I don't like the idea of standing here like one of those living statues on Sunset Boulevard. My thing is patrolling, but... Orders from above. Can I go in? Of course not! So why did you allow Barry Landau inside? Your friend? The one who just left? He's not my friend. Yeah, I saw how glad he was to get rid of you. Orders from above. He seems to have a good relationship with the boss. Is that legal? Letting a civilian into a crime scene? No way, he could tamper with the scene. Even take vital evidence. He did, right under your nose. He took some papers. And I'll file a complaint, don't worry about that. You could have denied him entry. I just told you. Orders from above. I'll file a complaint. Hey, how about we stop going in circles here? I'm aware the situation is anomalous, okay? I'm leaving. Rummaging through a patrol car in front of an officer of the law could be the worst idea you've come up with today. In your opinion, there's no reason to have the lights on right now, except to give Officer Jackson some extra sense of authority. Peter Evans' majestic mansion rising up from the grounds makes you realize it's not fame you seek, not even the long-awaited Oscar. Your motivation to keep fighting is to become one of them. But alive, of course. Evans showed off his latest acquisition to you the last time you were here. The price tag, transportation, costs all the way from Egypt, and installation costs knocked your socks off. Why on earth would you buy an obelisk, Evans, you asked. Unabashedly, he replied, because I can. Many a client of the Tour of the Stars thinks that these people are so rich that the tips of their fences are made of real gold. It's just gold and paint, in case you were wondering. Alright, I think that's about all we can do here. Well, let's go to Flying Saucer's picture. I mean, why go to a random location off the beaten path? Okay. Rubble. That's odd. According to the letterhead, the Flying Saucer Pictures offices should be here. Rummaging through the rubble won't help you rebuild the Flying Sauce Pictures office if they were ever here. The guy on the right is talking nonstop, while the other one listens intently. Those guys are acting sketchy. Casually, you position yourself to eavesdrop on them. You pay attention to their conversation. Embarrassed, you step away from them when you realize the man on the right is trying to convince the other one that Missing in Action 2 was shot before the first part, but premiered afterwards. Okay. Let's talk to this guy who's just standing here. Hey, friend. I don't know what they told you, buddy, but I don't sell anything. Nobody's told me anything. I don't even know who you are and what you do for a living, though I can guess the latter. Oh, can you? What do you want, buddy? I'm looking for the Flying Saucer Pictures offices. Flying what? This is 451 Roadside Avenue, right? Don't know. I guess, man. I think there should be an office here instead of this rubble. Oh, yeah, fuck. The movies guy. What a fucking bastard. They say he was the one who caused the building to collapse, just so he could collect the insurance money. Gas leak or something. The asshole could have blown up half the street. You gotta be a real son of a bitch to do something like that, huh? Do you know where I can find this guy? His name is Glenn Bishop. No idea, man. Hope you'll find him, but behind bars. That's where he belongs. Do you know anybody who could point me to Glenn Bishop's whereabouts? The owner of the pawn shop, but he's not here right now. I think he's testifying at the police station. Problem with some jewels or something. He left his cousin in charge of the shop, but he's kind of dumb. Don't waste your time with him. What about the laundromat? Maybe they know something? You never seen one of those? They're completely unmanned. You go in, insert a coin, and wash your clothes. Clearly, you have someone to do it for you. I think that's all. Okay, man. Fred's Pawn Shop has a great stock of VCRs, stereo devices, Atari video game consoles, mixing consoles, and car radio cassettes. Most of them are stolen. That might be the reason the police often visits his establishment to clarify the source of his products. You don't need anything from Fred's Pawn Shop, but you now know where to find one such store in case you need it. Okay. So, we gotta find Glenn Bishop, whose whereabouts are unknown. Let's go to Ruskin Productions. Come on, gentlemen, splash the cash. You could be helping this poor man right here with all that dough you scrimp by hiring illegal aliens to take care of your lawns. Trash can is filled to the brim. Jack has probably taken anything that could be useful from there already. Dave Morrison, the marketing officer for Phantasm Cycles, reads with bewilderment that Route 66 is not a part of the U.S. numbered highway system anymore. Part of his new campaign is based on the relevance of that historical route. Neil Gordon is a horror movie enthusiast who manages, writes, and publishes a small fanzine called Terror Zone. He thinks you are one of the best current horror screenwriters, and he's dying to interview you. But reading your words in a magazine made of loosely stapled photocopies doesn't match your concept of an interview. Jack Palmer was a child star in the 30s. He was the lead in Gang of Seven, such a ripoff of Our Gang that its biggest accomplishment was not be sued for plagiarism. When his voice dropped and acne made its appearance, he disappeared until the 50s when he made a comeback as the director... Oh, shit. As the director of a couple of movies about giant radioactive insects which devoured everything that crossed their path. Humans, military machinery, and even the production company itself, which went bankrupt. He returned to Hollywood in the 80s in his latest incarnation, a homeless drunkard. The one on the right is Frank Rooker from Berkeley, Rooker & Jones, whose offices are on the 8th floor. The one on the left is one of their youngest and most promising lawyers, Jack Jordan. Or Stephen Hartnett, you don't know. All those young lawyers with their slick back hair look the same to you. Alright, let's talk to Neil Gordon. I told you I wasn't going to grant you an interview, so you can leave the bench free for whoever else needs it. You made that pretty clear last time, Mr. Goldberg. It's hard to forget. You were quite blunt. But I'm not here for you. I'm trying to interview Christopher Ruskin. Couldn't you... No. Okay. I checked out your fanzine. Oh yeah? I skimmed it. Before trashing it. Most kind of you. Judging by what I read, you do write quite well. Quite well. You've got talent, kid. Why do you waste it writing about those kinds of movies? Do you want some advice? Take your writings and bring them to Variety or The Hollywood Reporter. You'll land a job. But please get a haircut and wear something else. Don't go in there looking like that. You tell me how to dress, what to write about? Anything else? Yes. Take off those earrings. Are you gonna wait here all day? It's my day off. When I see Mr. Ruskin come out, I'll try to get my interview. I hope he's nicer than you. What's your interest in Ruskin? I'm working on a special issue about new horror movie producers. Christopher Ruskin is one of them. Don't kid yourself. Ruskin's no more than a producer of exploitations. He doesn't give a damn about horror cinema. You think so? I work for him. If he didn't give a damn about horror movies, he wouldn't have you as his screenwriter. You ready yourself to answer with a conclusive, I'm not a horror movie screenwriter, but that's what you are. Or give his new movies larger and larger budgets. Or hire the best up-and-coming VFX technicians out there. He knows what he's doing. Good luck, then. I hope Ruskin won't send you packing, which is what I'd do. I don't think so. Brian Yuzna didn't. Neither did Robert Shea, Glenn Bishop, or Charles Band. Producers tend to be nicer than certain screenwriters. Hold on, did you say Glenn Bishop? Glenn Bishop, yeah. Do you know where I could find him? Are you serious? He makes video movies, very low-budget ones. If you want to waste your time, so be it, but I would keep working for Ruskin Productions. It's not that, I just want to talk with him about certain matters. I'll ask again, do you know where I can find him? And don't tell me Roadside Avenue. Nah, he's not there anymore. He had some problems with a gas leak, or at least that's what he tried to convince me of. Rumor has it that he already had a new office when the accident happened. So he's now at... Let's make a deal. Give me an interview with Ruskin and I'll tell you where to find Bishop. Tell me and I'll talk to Ruskin. You think I was born yesterday? Given your age, almost. How old are you exactly, kid? 20. Do me that favor, Mr. Goldberg. Ruskin is not going to grant an interview to a fanzine. This is my offer. Alright. We'll work on that. Let's talk to the deranged drunkard. Well, you here to insult me again? What? Again with that? Is this your way of saying hello or what? You told me your career was going downhill so hard that you would rather jump off the 6th Street Viaduct than end up like me. Come on, Jack, don't be resentful. Even if it did happen 12 days and 46 minutes ago, I don't like to be called resentful. Alright, for the umpteenth time, I'm sorry. I've got the habit of saying what I think. That's not a virtue. The trick is to think about what you say. You know what, Alan? You're a strange guy. You don't like people, you freaked them out, and yet somehow nobody sends you packing. Anyway, how's it going? Awful. Glad to see you haven't lost that optimism you're known for. How's the day going? Nothing yet, but I've just gotten started. I've always wondered why you beg in a place like this. I don't like to hustle from common people. It's hard enough for them to just earn a living. But here, look at all those yuppies. Check out their hands, look, they're perfect. Most of them waste so much money on manicures. They do fuck all. They make all their money through speculation. If I've got to fleece someone, I'd rather it be them. These people are not the kind to give handouts, Jack. They don't even see you. That's what you think? Check this out. You all cheer for USA for Africa and all those stars going, we are the world, but fuck those of us standing right here. Hypocrites. There, mister. Try not to waste it on booze. I'd waste it on cocaine like you do, but I don't think I'd be able to afford it. Have a good day. $5. That's my day made. See? They showed one of your movies yesterday. Which one? The one with the fucking spiders or the one with the fucking ants? Spiders. And how did you know if you don't watch TV? I read it in the papers. Those movies are in the spotlight again with this whole 50s revival that's going on. And I still don't see a single cent from them. Not that I should anyway. The production company went bankrupt and who knows who's got the rights now. Some asshole must be making crazy money off my work while I'm here panhandling. No, not long ago, a couple of journos came for an interview for one of those magazines for wankers. What was it called? Starlog? I felt like a director again, telling them all about how those movies were made. Those were good times, Alan. I've got things to do, Jack. Okay. Let's go in. We gotta talk to Ruskin. Convince him. Alan, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad to see you. Again, James? We've got a little debate here. You're the erudite here, give me a hand. Pam is saying that the Church of Mother Earth is a cult. It is. Oh, come on, not you too. You should stop by one day, Alan. As a guest, of course. We have exercises to improve one's mood and see life from a different perspective. I'd rather throw myself out that window. You're wasting your time, friend. How about you, Pam? Are you in? I don't get paid enough to put up with this. The first movie produced by Ruskin was House by the Graveyard in 1981. It was a Z movie indebted to Italian horror cinema with an aesthetic closer to the 70s than to the decade it was shot in. For some reason you can't seem to grasp, Ruskin is proud of the first movies he produced, and that's why he placed the posters in the entrance hall of the production company. The Neighbor was a boring movie about a girl who thought her neighbor was a vampire. Lately, Ruskin has been thinking of suing Tom Holland and Columbia Pictures over the suspicious similarities between his film and the more recent Fright Night. Yeah, I'll note that that is not, obviously, Tom Holland of Spider-Man fame. Different Tom Holland. Christopher boasts about the originality of the movie, but to you it's nothing more than a Rear Window ripoff. Christopher Ruskin was so impressed with the concept of shockwaves that he wanted his own Nazi zombies movie. Scharführer had little success, and the blame fell on Ruskin Productions' then official screenwriter. After the disastrous premiere, you were hired to replace him. Is this the one with John Carradine, or is that Shockwaves? You never remember. Shockwaves. Pam has modernized the company by computerizing it. Technical equipment, providers, agencies, everything's in that computer. She even talks to them through a sophisticated phone system plugged to the computer, which seems more like witchcraft than technology. Pam Lawrence is Christopher Ruskin's right hand. Without her, the company would be a shadow of what it is now. There are times you feel she knows more about everything that's going on in the company than her own boss, so she's the one to go to first when any issues come up. 1982 was James Crosby's year. He was the lead in President's Day Killer and became a member of the Church of Mother Earth. From then on, parts in big studio productions started raining on him. He doesn't seem aware that his success is due to the power the church holds in Hollywood, not because he starred in a modestly successful B-movie. Sometimes he drops by the company to convince Pam or whoever is around to join his cult. How's the script going? Fine. I need to touch up a couple of things. Problems with the third act, right? How did you know? I've been working with you for a long time, honey. When everything's going well, you barely say a word. When you try to explain yourself, it means something is wrong. The treatment already showed that you weren't too sure about the third act. But don't worry. We begin shooting next month. There's still time. Pam brought me up to speed. Lunatic 2, huh? Wow, you must be happy. Oh yeah, I can't stop jumping for joy. Come on, Alan. Everyone's talking about the movie. It's a success so far. I even heard rumors over at Warner. Rumors. They want David Draven, the director, to shoot the next Stallone movie. Though Sly wants to keep George P. Cosmatos. Anyway, Lunatic's the talk of the room. And did you hear anything about the screenwriter? No, I'm sorry. What are you working on now? I've taken a couple months off. Haven't stopped shooting lately. Though Martin's been calling. Who's Martin? Scorsese. He wants me in his next movie. Paul will be there too. Paul? What Paul? McCartney? Newman. I haven't made up my mind yet. I've also been talking to Brian. Brian May? De Palma. Hey, Alan, are you pulling my leg? I don't know what to do. I might consult with Steven. Spielberg. Good. Okay. What do you do in that cult exactly? Again with that, we're not a cult. We're a legally constituted church. Okay, call it whatever you want, but what do you do there? We're not allowed to talk about it. Come by one day and see for yourself. See? Sounds like a cult. How's that a way of advertising yourselves? Just imagine I drop by one day and end up with melted wax on my chest and 4 octogenarians ready to abuse me. Hilarious. For your information, that would never happen. The teachings of the Church of Mother Earth are based on kindness and common good. So he's very much meant to be, I guess, like Tom Cruise with Scientology and, you know, Tom Cruise was in The Color of Money, I think, with Paul Newman. I don't know what year that came out. Probably right around. Yeah, that was 86, directed by Scorsese. Bang again! Pretty good. What did he do with Brian De Palma? Or is that just like... That may have just been like a name to throw out there. Don't know. Oh, right. Fucking Mission Impossible, of course. But that was 96, so that was years later. Anyways. Do you really think the Earth is a living being? Of course. What seems odd to me is for people as clever as you not to believe it. Mother Earth's always been sending signals, but we never paid attention until she chose Joseph as her intermediary. She speaks through him. Yes. Tells him what to do. Exactly. Let's drop the subject. I'm feeling insulted. Why? You're treating me like a 4-year-old. What should I think about? Well, Pam, as we were saying, we were not saying anything. Oh, can we get some nice, crisp water? You don't see any cups around, so you ready yourself to drink directly from the tap when you realize you don't want to be taken for an eccentric. You turn around to ask Pam to refill the cups, but you see she's busy, so you change your mind. Shame. No water for us. Pam insisted on putting all the files on that little computer. The files contain information from 1978 to the present day. What are you looking for exactly? You know damn well what I'm looking for. Oh well. Alan! I've heard the news. What a shame, huh? Indeed. Does that mean your project fucked up? Yeah. I don't want to sound callous at a time like this, but this is good news for Ruskin Productions. Our Alan isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't have much of a choice. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Do you know what I was staring at through the window when you got here? The city at your feet, right? Makes you feel powerful. You're impossible. Come here. Look towards Sunset Strip. That billboard ad on the corner by Tower Records. What do you see? A brown and blue blot. Come on, Alan. What do you want me to see? The sun's reflecting off the window and I can't see a damn thing. It's the Lunatic poster on Sunset Boulevard. Do you know what that means? We can afford it. We're making big money thanks to you. Do you know where I've been today? Surprise me. In a meeting with Toynek. They're releasing an action figure line of horror monsters. And you know who's going to be the star? The Lunatic. They're all along the same lines, Alan. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. And thanks to the movie's success, they want your creation to be the star figure. Isn't it wonderful? A Lunatic toy. Wonderful. I know it's not the figurine you'd like to have in your hands, but we're on the way, Alan. We'll soon be able to afford higher budget movies, as well as other genres. The day will come when you can write anything you want, and I will gladly produce it. But the success of horror movies is what will allow us to take bigger risks. It's pretty straightforward, right? I'm sick of writing the same thing over and over, Christopher. That's all. I know, but you're so good at it. We've won awards thanks to you. And I'm not letting you go. And now, if you'll allow me, I'm going to keep admiring our future. Dozens of scripts the company receives each year are kept there, among other things. How much worse than yours must they be for Christopher not to have considered them? Revising your own scripts is already hard enough. You're not going to read other people's. Don't Go in the Forest 3D and Campfire Psycho. Surprisingly for you, they were both a success. You don't need them, you already have them at home. Okay. Christopher always has expensive drinks at hand to liven up meetings and render possible investors defenseless. You don't feel like a drink right now. It's not unusual to find Christopher talking on the phone with his feet on the desk and sitting as if he'd been thrown there from 30 feet up. There's a bottle of cologne on the desk. You take the bottle and hope Christopher won't miss it. Okay, got some cologne. Jenna Dreyfus, the actress from Campfire Psycho, gifted him a bamboo plant with the intention of improving the office's feng shui. You're no expert in this kind of pseudoscience the Hollywood population so happily embraces, but you don't see any relationship between one and the other except that both come from China. You look at the posters for the movies you've written with the same indifference as a plumber looking out of the faucet he's fixed. Though he would probably be prouder of his work than you are of yours. You're fed up with these posters. They're the same ones that are hanging at your place. You try to rip off one of the plant's leaves, but they're firmly attached to the stem. Okay, I don't even know how to access my inventory or anything, so... Yeah. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Nothing would really apply. From time to time, Christopher speaks about market trends and audience preferences by pointing to a page in one of these folders. You suspect the page is usually random. You don't need to look at the current market trends and audience preferences of horror movie fans. It's clear to you. Blood and tits. Yep. Christopher is a natural sweet talker. You can't have a conversation without him praising you to the point of exhaustion. That makes you feel uncomfortable. Do you have a moment? Sure. First of all, how's the script going? Remember to do whatever you want with it. You know there won't be any sort of interference on my part. I trust you completely. I've got issues with the third act. Nothing I can't fix. Good old writer's block, eh? Think of something shocking. You've got time. There's still a month to go before we start shooting. What did you want to tell me? There's a kid who wants to interview you. Oh yeah? Variety? A Hollywood Reporter? Some fanzine. Some fanzine. Not interested. The kid adores you. I don't know why, but he does. Oh yeah? He says you're more than just a producer of exploitations, that you know what you're doing. Of course I am. I try to hire the best. Those were his words. Yeah? And he knows how to write. He's as good as any film journos you may know, maybe even better. And damn, does he know how to negotiate. You know what, Alan? Lately I've been thinking about hiring a press officer. That would free up Pam a bit. She already has a lot on her plate. You say the kid's good? Check for yourself. Accept the interview. Every time I've trusted your gut, it's been good for me, so... Yes. You can tell him to come by. Alright. But not today. It's been a busy day. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Is that okay? Whatever suits you best. Settled then. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Alright, let's go inform him. And get our info. Ruskin has agreed to the interview. Really? I put in a good word for you. He's even thinking about hiring you as his press officer. I'm not interested. I already have a job. What do you do for a living? I'm a mechanic. Well, an assistant mechanic. How much do you make a month? It doesn't matter. Don't answer. Ruskin would double it, even triple it. If I accept the job, it would conflict with my reviews of any movie by the production company. And you're not a sellout, right? Damn right. Is that fanzine that important to you? It's my whole life. Are you listening to yourself? You have the chance to earn a ton of money, work for an up-and-coming production company, and attend horror movie shoots. Are you going to miss out on that? Anybody interested in the horror genre would kill for a job like that. You can balance the job and the fanzine. Okay, I'll think about it. When do I get to interview him? Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Thanks a lot, Mr. Goldberg. And now, where can I find Glenn Bishop? Mansfield Avenue, number 13. Great. I'd thank you if I hadn't had to barter. This is Hollywood. I guess that can be used to justify anything. Anyway, I have nothing else to do here. I'm off, Mr. Goldberg. Thanks for your help. Try to dress decently tomorrow, not like a criminal. It's an interview. I know. A job interview. And take off those earrings. Alright. Mind if I smoke? It's a Havana cigar, the only good thing those communists have. Alright, we're going to Glenn Bishop. Oh. I don't give a damn if you did everything you could, Tony. Your job is to do the impossible. No. No! Where the hell am I gonna find... Who the hell are you? How did you get in here? My name is Alan Goldberg. The door was open. Tony, give me a minute. No, don't hang up. Are you here to help? What? Do you want to help? Because if you haven't come to help, you can get the hell out of here. I wanted to talk to you about Peter Evans. Yeah, that poor bastard. I just heard about it. The harder they fall, huh? He was just here last week. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Now is not a good time. My director couldn't think of anything else to do but to celebrate the start of the shoot of Bloody Cabin 2 with the lead actress last night. And you know how? By overdosing on speedball. You know what a speedball is? Good old John Belushi sure did. And you know how he ended up? Dead. Which is how those two poor bastards will end up if they don't make it out of the intensive care unit. Serves me right for hiring goddamn junkies. So, Mr. Goldberg, Alan Goldberg, I have a film crew standing around with their arms crossed, and I myself am on the verge of a nervous breakdown, so unfortunately I am unable to assist you at this time. I might be able to help. Oh yeah? How? I'm a screenwriter. I work for Ruskin Productions. I have contacts. Ah, you are in the business. Just a sec. Tony, are you still there? Good, because I am considering making changes to Flying Saucer Pictures. Would you like to work for me, Mr. Goldman? No, I'm sorry. I work for Ruskin Productions. I've already told you. Just a sec. Tony! Fire you? Who's talking about firing you? So you want to help? Good. I need a director with experience. One who won't waste my time. If you find one, send him directly to 1864 Kenmore Avenue. Have him skim through the script and start shooting. I'll talk to him later about the money. I need an actress as well. But I'll need to see her first. Does she have a photo book? I don't care if she can act or not. If she does, so much the better, but that's not important. You understand what I'm looking for, right? Oh, and one more thing. I need both of them. No actress, no movie. No director, no movie either. And if they are not unionized, so much the better. You said you have contacts, huh? I trust you. And now if you'll excuse me... Tony! There's a guy here who's going to solve the issue. I should pay him instead of you just for trying. What? Put that idiot on the phone. Okay. Real J. Jonah Jameson energy here. Okay. There's a common Hollywood motto. Everyone wants to be the first to be second. Glenn Bishop is happy to be at the bottom of the list, as long as his films turn a profit. For a moment, you thought you were in a repair shop. You remember the deadline for the script that you have marked on the calendar at your apartment. You don't want to think about it right now. The arrival of video has been a blessing for Flying Saucer Pictures. Not only does Glenn Bishop get to save up on celluloid, but also on the developing process. It is not wise to accumulate so much flammable material in a place as hot as this. It could cause a fire. Although seeing what happened with his old office, Bishop surely is already aware of that and is ready to take advantage of it. The early days of Flying Saucer Pictures were characterized by exploiting the less crowded genres, which roused the most basic instincts of the audience. In the mid-60s, Bishop produced a number of nudies. They were films with lightly dressed girls running around on set and nothing more. In the 70s, he joined the trend of films about women's prisons. The plot mattered a bit more here, but not so much as to give up on the idea of showing scantily clad girls. Even though they were shot on film and screened in a theater, you don't think these films are real cinema. The glasses are dirty and there are only a couple of fingers of liquor left in the bottle. You hope Bishop doesn't offer you a drink. The sun is hitting right on the bottle and you don't see a cooler around. It is full of posters for movies that never came to be. Glenn Bishop usually sells his projects through an eye-catching poster made by some fine arts student before greenlighting the production. If the poster does not convince the distributor, the production is cancelled. In fact, he usually starts with it before commissioning a script. You have a brilliant future, kid, he tells his illustrator, but unfortunately not with me. You unfold one of the posters. Urban Witch Story. I wanted to look at it. Hold on. Dead Dimension, a terrifying journey beyond the stars. Billy Masters was right. There's a serial killer in the neighborhood. Okay. He doesn't care if she's immortal or not. Post-apocalyptic zombie. A great illustration. So much so that the zombie in the poster looks better than the one in the movie. If you're frustrated with your job, just think about the guy who had to write this movie. Write this movie, yeah. Bishop wouldn't want you digging through his files. It contains over 3 decades of contracts, memos, and miscellaneous material. Some Z-series historian may pay thousands of dollars for that stack of papers in the future. Okay, well, that's it. I guess we're going back to our apartment, right? Do I even have a phone? People always say that those masked psycho movies write themselves, and it's something you've always agreed with. But failing to write the sequel to Lunatic is making you change your mind. The best thing you can do now is go outside and forget about writing for today. Oh, I might have to go back to Ruskin Productions for all to the file cabinet. Good thing all these taxi rides are free. The files contain information from 1978 to the present day. And it just says, what are you looking for? You busy? Any messages for me? A couple of Eliza fans called. Did they now? What the hell do they want? To see you dead. Seriously, Alan, what did you do to that girl? Nothing. I just said in an interview that she doesn't care about horror movies. Just like you. And that the only reason she's on TV is to show skin so her idiotic fans can jerk off. I remember that interview now. You foresaw a good career for her as a stripper if they canceled her show. Damn right. Always making friends. Any other messages? Yes. The guys from Astounding FX want to meet you. Astounding FX? What the heck is that? They're the new makeup effects company we've hired for Lunatic 2. They're really good. Good for them. They've turned down working on the sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street to make your movie, just because you wrote it. Oh really? What an honor. Come on, Alan, don't be like that. Just stop by. They want to show you the new look for the Lunatic and get your thumbs up. They could make the Lunatic wear a William Shatner mask for all I care. Which, if you aren't aware, is what Michael Myers wears. And they cut their rates to work on the film. So drop by, let them show you whatever they want to show you, and take a picture with them with that lovely forced smile of yours. Is that an order? No, but these guys deserve a thank you. Mark and Wayne are a charm. Do it for me, would you? Pfft. Fine, I'll see what I can do. Okay. Well, so we can go there, and we can also check out Joe's Diner. But I think we'll save that for next time. I think a really good foundation, a really good start so far. I love all the... I mean, obviously, you know, I'm a horror movie guy. I think we've established that for sure. So yeah, I love all this pop culture references and you know, that whole world. I think that's all great so far. But eventually we will get to, apparently, to the horror stuff. So stay tuned. For now, though, my name is Mangg. Gaming and watching has been Nightmare Frames. And I'll see you fine folks in the next part.